He's the frontman who defined rock and roll swagger. The voice of rebellion, fame, and fire, Mick Jagger. But beyond the wild stage moves, the controversies, and the endless tours with the Rolling Stones, lies a man who quietly admired another band, one very different from his own, a band that didn't dance under spotlights, but drifted through the cosmos of sound. Today at 81, Mick Jagger has finally revealed the 5 Pink Floyd songs that truly changed the way he saw music. Songs he loved, respected, and never stopped listening to. Welcome to Legend Uncovered. Number 5, Comfortably Numb, 1979. Mick Jagger once called this song a performance that feels like a dream you can't escape. Insiders close to him say Jagger admired how David Gilmour's guitar solo seemed to speak without words. He reportedly said that Comfortably Numb had more emotion in one note than most singers could express in an entire verse. During the Steel Wheels tour rehearsals in 1989, Mick supposedly played this track to the band and said, "This is how you make sadness sound beautiful." He loved the contrast, Roger Waters' icy realism clashing with Gilmour's soaring warmth. To him, it was pure theater of the soul. One source said, Mick would hum that guitar line for minutes, lost in thought. "Comfortably Numb," he said, "reminds you that even rock stars feel pain." This one hit Mick deeply. Wish You Were Here wasn't just a song. It was a message, a memory, a wound. Mick reportedly called it the most honest song about absence ever written. He loved how Pink Floyd could make silence sound just as powerful as melody. Back in the late 70s, when the Stones were facing their own struggles, breakups, excess, burnout, Mick would often play Wish You Were Here during quiet moments at home. Friends remember him saying, "You don't have to scream to break hearts, just whisper the truth." He admired how the song honored Syd Barrett, not with pity, but with love. To Jagger, that was what great rock did, turn tragedy into timeless poetry. If there's one song that made Mick Jagger pause and think about life, it was Time. He reportedly called it the truest song ever written about growing old in rock and roll. When Pink Floyd released Dark Side of the Moon, Mick was in his prime, a living icon, adored and untouchable. But this song hit a nerve. He told a friend during the 80s, "It's strange. One day you're 25, then suddenly the sun's behind you." That song says it all. Insiders claim Mick admired Roger Waters' lyrics, the haunting sense of urgency, the ticking clocks, the idea that life slips away while we're busy chasing noise. He said time felt like a mirror, one that every artist, no matter how famous, would eventually have to face. To Mick Jagger, this wasn't just a song, it was a spiritual experience. He once described Shine On You Crazy Diamond as a slow sunrise, 10 minutes long and worth every second. Friends recall him saying he admired the song's patience, how it didn't rush for attention, how it built emotion like waves. He reportedly told Keith Richards after hearing it for the first time, "That's not a track, that's a cathedral." Mick loved how Pink Floyd turned absence into sound, how they could write about loss, madness, and genius without ever sounding sentimental. He respected their courage to make long, introspective songs in a world obsessed with 3-minute hits. To him, Shine On was proof that true art never needs to beg for attention. And now, the one Mick Jagger called his favorite Pink Floyd masterpiece, Echoes. A 23-minute odyssey that bends sound, emotion, and time itself. Sources close to him say Mick was obsessed with this song's atmosphere, its haunting buildup, the ocean-like sounds, the sense of floating through another world. He reportedly told a producer in the early 70s, "This is what the future of music sounds like, not riffs, but landscapes." He admired how the song was both intimate and infinite, how it spoke about connection, loneliness, and the human condition without ever raising its voice. During a 2001 BBC interview, Mick was asked what he thought of Pink Floyd's early experimental sound. He smiled and said, "Echoes. That one still gives me chills." They painted pictures with sound. To him, Echoes was everything music could be, bold, poetic, and timeless. What's truly fascinating is that Mick Jagger and Pink Floyd came from two different worlds. The Stones were danger, sweat, and swagger. Pink Floyd were mystery, atmosphere, and philosophy. But behind closed doors, there was respect. Deep, mutual respect. Gilmour once admitted he admired the Stones' raw confidence. And Jagger, in turn, saw Pink Floyd as the band that proved rock could think. In private, Mick once said, "We made people dance. They made people dream." And maybe that's why he loved those songs, because they did what even the Stones couldn't, make silence feel loud. At 81, Mick Jagger has seen it all: fame, fortune, loss, and rebirth. But even after all the noise, he still finds peace in the sound of Floyd. 5 songs. 5 moments that shaped his love for music forever. Because in the end, legends don't just inspire, they admire each other. So what do you think? Which of these Pink Floyd songs do you think deserves Mick's #1 spot? Let us know in the comments below. And if you love uncovering the secret passions of rock's greatest icons, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on that bell. Because this is Legend Uncovered.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.